a commitment, this is going to be the best year of my life, and you live into that, it's going to change the game. If you want to achieve a significant quantum leap, that demands personal transformation. It's impossible to create a world-class life by being in your comfort zone. You have to decide what you want to do. You have to find out what is the price I'm going to have to pay. You've got to commit to paying that price. Money is the least inexpensive price that you have to pay. That price is commitment. Nothing happens without commitment. Until somebody commits, it's impossible to create something significantly better. If you're 90%, 99% committed, you're 100% all out. Commitment means you're all in no matter what. No shit, no kidding. I'm going all in. This is how I'm going to live. This is what I'm going to do. I don't care how it happens. I don't care what I have to do, but this is what I'm doing.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our How to Create a Massive Breakthrough workshop. We are so happy to be here with you today. I would love for you to let us know in the chat where you're joining us from, and if you are fired up to go all in for the next 90 to 120 minutes, what I want you to do right now is set aside all distractions. Make sure that your phone is on Do Not Disturb. Maybe turn it over, close out all of your other browsers, and really give Arash your undivided attention and invest this next 90 to 120 minutes into yourself and into your future self. You will be so glad you did. I know there are going to be a lot of questions about if there is going to be a replay, if this is being recorded. Yes, it is being recorded. We will send you a replay so you can look forward to that, but I still encourage you to get out a pen and a piece of paper and take notes. You are going to have things that hit you and little aha moments throughout the time together today. And you're going to want to go back and work through those notes and have your action items handy for when we end. So go ahead, set aside all distractions, and help me welcome my business partner, my dear friend, the best coach in the world, Arash Vossoughi. Arash, how are you?
I'm great, Mikey. How are you?
I am great. I am fired up to be here, and I know that what you have planned for us is going to be incredible today.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. I think every single person listening to this and watching this is a breakthrough waiting to happen. You know, but what's happening right now, I want everybody to think of what you're thinking. There's only two thoughts that people think. They either think about what they want or what they fear. And right now, every one of you are one of those two areas. Now, I hope you're super excited because if you follow what I teach, you're going to create not just a breakthrough, you're going to create a world-class life. I'm not going to teach you techniques. I teach principles. And when you live the principles, you create the results effortless. When you are learning a technique, what's happening is you're going to a destination. It's too mechanical. Wealth and success and joy is not something you chase. It's something you have inside of you, and we want to let it out. Success is not hard. So if you're right now, if you're chasing it, you're doing it the wrong way. And you're going to 1x, maybe 1.5x, at the best 2x, but you're going to be exhausted and it's not duplicatable. So I want you to follow the principles, and I can guarantee you one thing. And this is one thing I can guarantee because I've been doing this for over 17 years. If you persistently follow these principles, you're going to blow yourself away where you're going to be in 6 to 12 months.
I love it. I think that's the great way to start us off, Arash. I'm going to go ahead and let you share your screen, and let's get right to it.
All right. Thanks, Mike. Let me share. Okay. So the whole purpose of this is really teaching you how to create a massive breakthrough. Now, before I even start, there's certain rules that you've got to understand. Number one, your divine birthright, you are already worthy. So if you're sitting there thinking, I've never done it in the past, let that go. We have to accept our worthiness. Worthiness is not something you have to implement. It's something you already are. Your divine right is to be financially free. Your divine right is to have so much joy in your life. And your divine right is to create the life you want. So let's start with the foundation first. A lot of people come to me and they say, I don't feel like I'm good enough. And I can relate to that because when I first started studying that, that was me. But I was very unaware. And once I created the awareness, that just slipped away. So I don't want you to try to work on being good enough. You already are. And we've got to accept that truth first, because if you don't feel worthy and deserving of the good you desire, you're never going to attract it into your life. So I want you to accept that truth right away. Now, we have one life that we know, and it's about how you want to live. It's about contribution, doing what you love. Your passion is your calling, and I want you to burn that in your mind. Follow your passion, that's your calling. It's about how we spend our days. Are you spending it just getting through the day, looking forward to the evening, looking forward to Netflix? Or are you spending it on fire? I want you to spend your days on fire, because if you don't spend your days on fire, you're not going to create a breakthrough. All you're doing is reliving the same year 60 years over and over again. Now, and it's all dependent on how we see ourselves. The foundation of this is your identity. Your identity is the truest picture of how you see yourself. So we want to change how we see ourselves. Now, I'm going to give you the biggest mistake people make in life. They think we have all the time in the world. They say, I'm going to change when this happens. We do not have all the time in the world. And you have to take advantage of today. And I want you to remember that. Stop telling yourself you have all this time. The only thing we have is right now. So really seize the moment with me today. Seize the moment for yourself. Now, this whole next, I don't know how long I'm going to go, to be honest with you. I'm going to go as long as I think you need. And this is all about you. So how well you understand you is going to be critical. And I already give you some great truths about you, but do you believe them? Do not doubt for a moment, and I'm going to bring this again. Do not doubt for a moment that you're not worthy of what you desire. You're worthy because of who you came from. You are already worthy. I always say, imagine, I don't know if you guys are animal lovers, but imagine you saw yourself how your dogs see you, or how your cats see you. They see you perfect. Well, that's the real essence of who you are. Now, you right now have to understand you are an amazing story. You've overcome so much just to be on this planet right now. You beat the odds. Every one of us did. It was 1 in a 4 trillion chance for us to be here. So you've already beat massive odds. But nobody wakes up thinking, I'm an amazing story. I'm an amazing story. You know what they wake up thinking? From their past. That's what beliefs are. Beliefs are from our past. Forget about your past. Your past is dead. I want you to completely let it go. This year, for this year to be the most amazing year of your life, you have to let go of everything else. You have to completely let go. Today is the only day we know. So we want to take advantage of the day, and we have a blank script that we're writing from based on our thoughts, feelings, and our actions. Now, everyone has greatness inside of them. That means you have greatness inside of you. You may have not brought it to the surface because of worry, doubt, and fear, because of false beliefs, because you've accepted what others told you. And the only reason people have not brought greatness is because their awareness has not accepted the idea. Now, the biggest error people make, they say, I want X, but they're always separate from whatever X is. Now, I want you, just for a moment, and I want you to close your eyes and think about the one thing you desire more than anything else. Just do it for me for a second. I'm going to show you something powerful. Now, I want you to open your eyes, and I want you to ask yourself, are you feeling the lack of it, or are you feeling the natural fulfillment of it? That will tell you if you're creating from lack or you're creating from wholeness. That's what it'll tell you. Now, I'll already tell you because I see the pictures on the screen. Some of you didn't even close your eyes. So if you're not going to close your eyes, you're not going to do what I'm telling you. So understand, this is for you, it's not for me. Now, freedom demands personal transformation. For you to be free, you have to kill off the old part of you that no longer serves you. And we're working on ourselves. Jim Rohn used to say it so brilliantly. I used to study Jim Rohn when I first got in this material. And he said, you have to study on yourself 10 times more than you do on your business. You know, that's what personal transformation demands. Now, for you to create a massive breakthrough, there's 4 things we have to understand. You have to have a sincere desire for interchange and quantum leaps. Number 2, you have to have workable principles. You have to be very intentional with your processes. Your processes are creating your results by default. And when I'm saying this, some of you probably are thinking, what does he mean by processes? You should have a goal achieving process. You should have a mindset process. You should have a philosophy process. You should have a process for your standards. And then you want to be brutally honest with yourself. Success demands us not to bury our emotions and feelings, not to deny what's going on, but not to emotionalize them. I will tell you, the more honest you get with yourself, the faster success is going to be chasing you, not you chasing it. And you have to develop persistence. I watch so many people give in right before they're about to see their great achievement show up. You have to persist in the state of what you want, even when you don't see it, because the truth is, your 5 senses are going to be the last part of you that experiences your biggest breakthrough. Yet we're so connected to the physical side of us, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. So always persist in the state, regardless if you're winning and losing. Just keep going. Do not give up. Do not give in to the present results. Now, a quantum leap is your birthright. But the process of a quantum leap is so simple. We have to eliminate what is not working. So I want you to look at this. I want you to eliminate everything that drains your energy. What could be draining your energy? Those could be faulty beliefs. Those could be people in your life that you consistently hang around. Those could be old identity that you're just unwilling to look at. Everything that drains your energy, you must eliminate. Relationships that don't work, you must eliminate. And everything that others can do better than you're already doing, you leverage. You lever mentorship. Success always leaves clues. So you could learn from other people. Like I always brag about my mentor. My mentor was Bob Proctor. And I leveraged his mind so much. I leveraged his experience so much. I was aware enough to realize I was very unaware. So I wanted to leverage everything he taught me. That's what powerful mentorship does. Now, it is time for us to build a new model. And I want you to build the model of what you really want. How do you really want your life to live? How do you want to spend your days? How much money do you want to earn? What do you want your health to look like? And understand this, there is no such thing as wealth without health. It doesn't matter how much money you have. If you don't feel energy, if you're not motivated, there is something going on in your health. And we've got to prioritize our health. I want you to build a new model and make the old one obsolete. Now, I will give you a fast way to do this. I never focus on changing the old. I never focus on changing the old. I write what I want to eliminate, and then I just focus on the new model. A lot of people are trying to change the old while building the new. It doesn't work. You have to completely let that go. You have to completely let that go. So if somebody right now is really having a hard time with money, you don't focus on, I'm having a hard time with money. You see yourself already wealthy. You say to yourself, I'm infinitely wealthy. Every morning, the first minute before your eyes open, you say to yourself, I'm infinitely rich. I am worthy and deserving of capable of creating world-class wealth. And you do that the last minute before you go to sleep. You do that for a few days. Watch how much your thoughts change. Now, you can absolutely create your own economy. I remember I was in a room many years ago, and I was struggling. And my mentor was doing a seminar. I'd never met him before. He wasn't even my mentor then. I just was studying information. And I'm sitting in front of this room. I was at the front row at the left of the stage. And he put this slide up that says, you can create your own economy. I said, what a great idea. I love that idea. Now, I'd be lying to you if I told you I believed it. Well, I walked out of the seminar. Well, I got to go back. The next thing he said is, you can turn your annual income into your monthly income. So he had these two slides back to back. And all I did was think, God, that would be great if that's true. Then I started thinking to myself, well, it has to be true. He wouldn't just say it. And I left that event. Beknownst to me, I fell in love with that idea. Even though I was struggling significantly, all I kept thinking was, I'm going to turn my annual income into my monthly income. I'm going to create my own economy. What ended up happening is I fell in love with that idea. The ideas we fall in love with are using us. So I want you to understand, if this is a goal for you, and I hope it is, because that means if you're creating your own economy and you turn your annual income into your monthly income, do you know how much great impact you're doing to the world? That's the law of compensation. You will never get paid more than the service you render. So I think financial freedom is one of the worthiest goals that any of us can create because of who it makes us. It causes us to grow. So I want you to percolate on that idea if you want it. But in order to really create a breakthrough, I want you to understand that you are infinite. There's no end to where you can take yourself. That's why I said in the beginning, the idea that somebody is not good enough is just total crap. It's a false belief that people are taking on. Your spiritual DNA is perfect. You're all-knowing, all-powerful. It's ever-present. It's everywhere you go. That's who you are. The reason people are not creating the type of results they want is because they don't understand this truth. They look at who they are based on their current results. But they don't understand their current results are just based on what they accepted in the past. Now, I want you to become more and more aware that I'm infinite. There is no end to where I can take myself. Now, this very moment, you and I are using the most powerful force in the universe, which is our mind. I want you to look at the mind. But are we using it backwards? If we're being driven by our present circumstances, we're using it backwards. So I want you to look at the mind, and in order to create a breakthrough, I want you to make a decision right now that's not just any decision. It can't be a weak decision. I want you to make a decision with me right now that you're going to make a no shit, no kidding decision that I am going to create a massive quantum leap. I'm going to create the best year of my life. And next year is going to be even better. But it demands us not to have a wish or a hope. It demands a real committed decision. Nothing happens without decision. Now, I told you, you have infinite potential. Now, intellectually, you probably know that. But I want you to know it in your heart. But we cannot unleash our potential unless we make a definite decision that we're going to bet on ourselves. I want you to have the courage to bet on yourself. When you bet on you, everything changes. A couple of years ago, I was thinking about this. I was in Italy vacationing with my wife. My wife was taking a shower. I was in Portofino just looking at the water. And it was such a beautiful sight. And I thought to myself, this thought came over and said, what did you really do that changed your life from bondage to freedom? And there was only one idea that came on my mind. And it was, when my life changes when I bet on myself. I used to always hesitate. I used to always wait for something to show. But I was at a point that I was so sick and tired of being sick and tired. And that's when I bet on myself. So if you're sitting there right now thinking, I hope this works, I am a great example to tell you that I know this works once you follow the principles. Now, success comes down to a few simple choices. Number one, you have to decide exactly what you want. The creation process starts with clarity. Without clarity, nothing moves. The first step is you have to decide exactly what you want. The second step is determining the price you have to pay. And I'm going to tell you the price right now. You're going to have to be willing to invest in mentorship. You're going to have to create mastermind groups. You're going to have to build discipline. You're going to have to work out of your comfort zone. You're going to have to elevate your standard and philosophies. That's the price you have to pay. And now you have to choose, am I willing to pay the price? Every choice, you're either feeding a world-class life of what you're creating, or you're feeding the same life year in and year out. Year in and year out. Now, success you have to want as badly as you want to breathe. You have to want it so badly. I always teach this tale and fable by Socrates. And a gentleman went to his lake house and he knocked on the door. He said, Socrates, I really want you to help me. I want to be as great of a philosopher as you. He takes him back to the lake and he says, bend down. So he bends down and he grabs him by the neck and he puts his head in the water, and he's holding it. He's not just dipping it in, he's holding it. Then he brings it out and he says, what were you thinking? He says, all I wanted to do was breathe. And he says, if you want to be as great of a philosopher as me, you have to want it as badly as you want to breathe. Now, I will show you, I'm going to put a mirror in front of you right now. You're going to know if you really want a breakthrough as badly as you want to breathe by the choices you're making, by the decisions you're taking. If you're having a hard time doing a morning routine, having a hard time taking action, you don't want it as badly as you want to breathe. If you're making every decision from your circumstances, you don't want it as badly as you want to breathe. And to create a world-class life, you have to develop mental toughness. So, are you going to have adversity? Absolutely. Are you going to have great moments? Absolutely. Are you going to have hard times? Absolutely. We've got to look at hard different. We've got to look at hard as the obstacle is there for us to grow. They're for us to grow. Now, I want you to take a look at this. Every line on this represents a frequency. And I want you to take an honest look at your present results right now. They're telling you a story. By law, everything happens by law. Like, you guys are on this training by law. You can only attract what you're in harmony with. So your present results tell you right now, based on your past, what you've been in harmony with. So if you don't like them, guess what? You can change them. You can make different choices. You can start the elimination process. You can let go of your old self. Let it die away. Every day, I want the old me to die. I am constantly thinking about what no longer serves me. I want that part to die away. Now, the world you're experiencing right now is nothing more than the ideas you've accepted on a deep subconscious level. Nothing more. That's why we want to look at our circumstances very differently. Instead of looking at them as a fact, we got to look at them as an event. That's all they are, as an event. Oh, that's interesting. I don't want you to deny the circumstances, because that's when we lie to ourselves. But I don't want you to emotionalize them. I want you to say, I understand why I created this, but from this point on, I know what's coming. There's so many things working behind the scenes because I have made the irrevocable decision that I'm creating a massive breakthrough today. Do you realize transformation happens in moments? We don't see it in moments, but on a consciousness, it happens in a moment. The minute you decide to create a massive breakthrough, in your consciousness, you've accepted that idea. Now, what happens the minute somebody accepts it, 5 minutes later, an hour later, they give into the circumstances, they wipe that out. That's what's happening. You could do an amazing morning routine. You could do meditation. You could do guided visualization. You're really locked into your want. And then an hour later, you go to circumstances. That's what's keeping you separate from the life you want, right there. Every success, every failure, every circumstance is just a direct reflection of what you've accepted as true in your consciousness. I want you to stop letting the circumstance dictate your emotional state. The language of the universe is emotion. So the emotion you put out, the emotion you admit is a signal, and you're going to get it right back. That's what the universe is responding to. It does not know what's good for you. It does not know what you're a good person, you deserve this. It only knows by what you put out. So we've got to lock in this. We've got to get our understanding. And this is what I was saying earlier. Most people visualize, then live from their circumstance the rest of their day. They imagine themselves wealthy for a moment, then they react to their current financial situation. This double binding message prevents them from achieving their goals and dreams. And you must give your goal time to grow. Most people are so impatient. They say, I want to 10x my life, yet they want it tomorrow. So they never give themselves time to grow. They never give their goal time to grow. And they're constantly going from the state of what they want, what they don't want, what they want, what they don't want. And that's what's called the double binding message and preventing you from creating the life you want. Now, your biggest obstacle every day is your present circumstances, your present results. That's going to be your biggest obstacle. If you give in to the present results, you're going to keep creating the same result year in and year out, year in and year out. So you've got to decide, I'm not going to do that. You've got to decide my present results are just a reflection of what I've accepted in the past. That's all they are. That is all they are. Now, the biggest error people make, it's not because they're not aware that they can do better. All of you know you could do better. But they're always protecting themselves from who they want to be. They're hesitating. They're not willing to invest in being around specialized knowledge, getting the right mentorship. And they're constantly lying to themselves. Like, I get clients who lie to me. You know, they'll tell me I'm doing so well, but they don't understand. I read people for a living. When you have a certain awareness, you read. So when somebody tells me, I know they're not. But why are they telling me that? They don't need my approval. This is their life. But how are they showing up every day in their life? Constantly not doing the deep internal work that creates a life of freedom. Do you realize if you sprinted with me for 12 months, you just were on my hip for 12 months, you'd create the rest of your life in freedom. Do you realize that? You know, but most people are stubborn. They say, I got to do it my way. I remember I used to be that way, so I can relate to it. And my mentor told me one day, do you want to be right or do you want to be successful? And boy, did that hit me in my stomach. I said, you're so right. You know, so what I'm asking you to do is stop protecting yourself from who you want to be. Start feeling your feelings and start processing them. Stop avoiding them and burying them in the sand, because guess what? That's your emotions, and that's what you're emitting out into the world. Now, resistance is what is holding you back. The only obstacle from getting you from where you are to where you want to be is your belief. And you are never going to get the universe working in harmony with you when you're in resistance. You're never going to get guidance when you're in resistance. When you're in resistance, it's a very heavy energy and it blocks the perfection of your spiritual DNA. It's your paradigm right on top of it. So we've got to let go of the resistance. And that's why I'm telling you, you've got to let go of the past. You've got to let go of last year. You've got to let go of the year before. You have to let go of your trauma. You've got to let go of beating yourself up. These are things that hold resistance. Now, there's only two types of people in the world. You're either a watcher or a player. I watch too many great people have unlimited potential and keep it stuck inside of them because they're always watching. And I want you to ask yourself, Am I a watcher in my life or am I a player? They're spectators sitting in the stand watching others play the game of life. So they're operating with their life playing on defense. They're always passive. They watch somebody else get the money, get the recognition, get the rewards, get the homes, get the vacations, get the businesses. They never try hard at anything. They just do enough to get their needs met. That's all they do. They do enough to get their needs met. And at the first sign of difficulty, challenge, or disappointment, they hide. They go right inside. They go right inside to hide away and they make excuses. They disregard their dreams and blame others. Everything is somebody else's fault. And once they have a failure, they vow, I'm never going to do this again. I'm never going to try this again. Does that make sense to any of you? Have you done that before? I'm never going to feel that way again. And they're never playing the game of life actively. They're just watching it. They're watching life go by. And they're the best excuse makers. They're the best victims. So I want you to ask yourself, am I a watcher? Now, the best part is you can be a watcher right now and you can decide right now in this moment, I'm done being a watcher, and you could be a player in your life. Now, let's look at the player. The player understands repetition. They have practiced until they're the best at what they do. They are practicing their mindset. They spend an hour a day studying themselves. They reap the rewards of their efforts. They know and understand the law of cause and effect. Whatever I put out, I'm going to get back. They use their power to make things happen. Power is not outside of you. You are the power. Think of a time where you just tapped into this other gear. And usually people don't tap into it until they're in a desperate state. But that gear, instead of tapping into it when you're in a desperate state, I want you to tap into it every day. I want you to start connecting your I am to I am the power. You're unleashing your infinite potential when you do that. And they reach within to the well of power that they have to get the desired results. That's a player. Now, they take risks and get rewards. The biggest risk people take is not taking risks. You're never going to win if you are adverse to risk. I'm going to tell you that right now. Now, I want you to be a player in your life. But everything starts and ends in your mind. If you want to know how you're using your mind, look at your present results. Look over the last 12 months of what your results were. That will tell you exactly how you're using your mind. And so we have to understand the laws of our mind. And once we operate in harmony with the laws of our mind, that's how you're going to live a life of freedom. Now, it's all in awareness. There is no lack in the universe. There's only lack of awareness. Do you notice that some people, they never think in lack, where other people, that's all they think of? Do you realize that one droplet of lack or complaint about your financial situation is like poison to your subconscious mind of abundance? I want you to think about that. That's what it is. Every time you hesitate, every time you think you're not good enough, lack. So all you're going to get is lack in your life. There's an amazing inner world that exists within us, and the understanding of such a world enables us to do and achieve anything we desire within the laws of the universe. Wealth is not outside of you. Wealth is inside of you. Everybody thinks wealth is out there. It is not out there. Wealth is not something you chase. It's not something you pursue. It's something you assume. I am wealthy. And then you feel what it feels like to be wealthy. It feels freeing. It feels, I'm so excited. I'm so grateful. Stop thinking of wealth as fleeing away. It's not something in the distant future. It is inside of you. And you've got to let that out. That's why it's all awareness. Now, when you get in harmony with the spiritual essence of who you are, that's where magic happens. To create a world-class life, you have to get inside of you and understand the real you. And when you get in harmony day in and day out with the real you, that's when your life becomes magical. Now, we have a law called the law of vibration. whatever vibration we're in, we attract right back to us. But the law of vibration always starts in your mind. So I told you earlier, at this very moment, you're using the most powerful force in the universe, which is your mind. Watch what you're attracting. That will tell you if you're working backwards with the law. Now, so if we're going to understand you, we have to understand how our mind works. Now, most people have seen me teach this over and over again, yet still are coming from lack. Why? Because they're not applying the principles. That's the reason why. Now, you have a conscious mind. Your conscious mind creates 2 to 4% of your results. Your subconscious mind creates 96 to 98% of your results, and you experience it through your body. Now, your conscious mind is your thinking mind. It's your educated mind. It's where your intellect resides. So if you want to know how you've been using your conscious mind, just look at your results. Your results in your environment tell you how you've been thinking. Now, your subconscious mind is your emotional mind. It does not work based on your analytical mind. Every time you're analytical, every time you're overthinking, your idea never gets to the subconscious mind. And it only speaks emotion. So anything we're emotionally involved in is going to show up in your life. Now, your conscious mind, you can choose. You can choose any idea you want. What do you think decision is? It's a choice. What do you think you chose over the last 12 months? Just look at your results. Those are the decisions you made. So don't you think I have to make different choices over the next 12 months so I can create a world-class life? Start making different choices. Forget about the past. The biggest error people make is they set their goals 5 to 10% based on last year. You always set your goal based on how do I want to live, not based on what you did a year ago. Then the most important aspect of using your mind is the law of assumption. You can accept or reject any idea. From this moment, I want you to make a rule for yourself that I'm going to start saying yes to everything that is in harmony with what I want and saying no to everything else. Watch how much your outside world is going to start changing once you do this. Now, accepting or rejecting is what disciplines your mind. Until you accept or reject from your future self, from your goal, your mind is disciplining you, not you disciplining your mind. And then you can originate any idea. I want you to originate the idea you really want to work and grow into. Don't settle for less. Go after what you really want. Now, your subconscious mind cannot reject, it can only accept. So whatever you accept, whether it's conscious or unconscious, your imagination takes it deep inside of you and it's going to be reflected in your results. So I will tell you, the most important part of this philosophy is the law of assumption. That is the most important part. Whatever I accept goes deep inside of me, whether I do it consciously or unconsciously. Now, your subconscious mind does not know the difference between what's real or what's imagined. That's why you've got to 10x your emotional state. I want you to think about your goals exactly how you think before you're going on a vacation. You know how you're excited, anticipating it? That's how I want to think of your goals. That raises your emotional state. You want to spend 20 minutes a day visualizing, already feeling the way you would feel, what you would experience had you achieved your goal. Now you do that, watch how quickly your goals are going to start being achieved. Now, your thinking is what creates your feelings. So if I'm thinking poorly of myself, if I'm thinking from circumstances, then obviously my emotional state's going to be very low and I'm going to attract what I don't want. You can never get results beyond your current level of thinking. And I want you to think from who you really are, how you really want to live. That's what's going to change the game for you. Now, the currency for attracting what we want into our lives is always our thoughts. I'll give you a great observation, and I want you to test it for yourself. For the next 48 hours, I want you to observe your inner voice and see what thoughts come up. That will tell you the truest ideas you're planting in your imagination. That will tell you. Now, you may have disciplined yourself and say, I'm polished with my thinking out loud. But what are you thinking inside? Watch how you spend money. Watch the thoughts that come by. Are you thinking, how much will X cost? That's lack and limitation. Observe it. It'll tell you a huge story. And then once you find out what your inner voice is saying, now we want to change it. We want to change that. Now, that is the truest way to do it. Now, I want you to look at this again. This is your mind. This is you. Now, you have a power that's flowing in and through you. Every second, we have, on an average day, we have 80,000 thoughts a day. Now, you have a choice. You can either look at the negative side of your personality, or you can look at the positive sides. What's happening, every thought is planted in your subconscious mind. Now, a negative thought, your subconscious mind is a garden. Whatever you plant in that garden is going to grow. So every time you're planting negative thoughts in the garden, you're destroying what you want. You're destroying the creation process. But every time you are disciplining, accepting, and rejecting ideas and only coming from your goal, only coming from your want, only coming from your future self, your garden is growing. But you can't keep planting positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative if you want to create a massive breakthrough. You have to hold yourself to a standard of thinking that I only think wealthy thoughts. I only think of how I can do something, not why I can't. Because I promise you, your results are going to tell you what you've been planting in your garden. Now, once you plant what you want, guess what? Your actions are going to change. Your results are going to change. Everything in the outside world is going to change for you. So I want you to make a commitment that you're going to plant what you want. Now let's look at this. We never attract what we want. We attract what we are. What we are the consistent ideas we've accepted. Now this is just the truth. And this is why affirmations don't work for most people. They'll affirm all day long, yet you cannot affirm externally what you deny internally. So there's no good in me affirming I am prosperous, I am wealthy, then the rest of the day thinking in lack and limitation, not betting on myself, not taking the right actions. Now, affirmations work every time when you harmonize with it, where the rest of the day you think, feel, and act from what you're affirming. So I can tell you right now, your results tell you what you currently are. Doesn't mean you can't change them, because you can absolutely change them. And change happens fast. Change happens so fast when you start changing your thinking. So the key that people miss is they never master their assumption. Accepting and rejecting is critical to your success. It is absolutely critical to your success. So I would put a lot of attention and a lot of controlled attention that I only accept any idea that's in harmony with my want. Then you're going to turn your want into a desire. Now, look at this. Your intellectual mind, you can really understand what you're thinking. Your subconscious mind, you can understand what you're feeling if you're aware. It's the intellect, how we use our thinking, how we're using our higher faculties, that allows us to tap into the spiritual side and change our physical results. You're never going to create results just being analytical. You're never going to create results doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. We've got to neutralize ourselves. We've got to get really emotionally involved. We've got to start being aware of how we're feeling, because our feeling is the language of what we're attracting. Now, it all comes down to your want. Your want creates abundance. Everything starts with your want. But I want to ask you right now, over the next 6 to 12 months, are you committed to paying the price to create what you want? Because that's what it's going to take. You can't do it 2 days a week. You have to decide, am I willing to go after what I want more than anything else in the world? Want creates your standard. Wants create abundance. Our wants are where everything starts. Now, how do I get my want inside of me? Number one, I talked to you about the law of assumption already, and the most important part of this philosophy. But I've got to radically accept what I want like it is already done. You live with the wish fulfilled. It is already done. Every time I have a want, I only think of how it can happen, not why it can't. Now, are you doing that? Are you worried about what other people are telling you? Oh, you should accept lesser goals. You have a good life. You have to radically accept what you want. And when you do that, that is such a high emotional state, and you put your ideas on steroids. You never worry about the how. The how is not up to you. Just know this. You don't need to know the how. The universe already knows the how. Your job is to feel how you would feel and take inspired action every day. You'll know when you've accepted an idea because you never worry about the circumstances. You never worry about the circumstances. You never say, I'm going to do X and not do it. Your commitment will tell you all you need to know. Your commitment. If you're having a hard time studying yourself, if you're having a hard time taking actions, if you're having a hard time doing a morning routine, you don't have commitment, you don't have a goal, you don't have a want. What you have is a wish or a hope. Now, once you radically accept the idea, your want becomes a magnificent obsession. You're going to get so excited every day you wake up that I get to do this. I get to get better today. That's what's happening. You're never going to hesitate. If you're hesitating, you did not accept the idea. You are working to the goal. You're not working from the goal. And I promise you, you're operating with delusion. Because your goal is here, you're operating here, and you're saying, I'm doing all these things. Why am I not achieving it? I can tell you why. The goal is already done. Forget about how it's going to happen. Your job is to fall in love with the idea and let the idea use you. Now, let's look at you again, because I want you to understand this deeply. Your want always starts in your subconscious mind. Your want, whatever you believe in, I'm not here to change your beliefs, but I believe in God. Our want is God working through us. And now, if you don't believe in God, put it in whatever form you believe in. But our want starts in our subconscious mind. Then it channels to our conscious mind. Hey, this is what you've been asking for. It is yours. Your desire is yours and nobody else's. You've got to accept that. That's why you can't create from a state of lack. You can't create your want from a state of not being good enough. So your job with your imagination is to accept the idea. This is what I'm doing. Now, I'm going to tell you this right now. You may say, Arash, I'm going to accept this. I know this is real. And an hour later, you still have to accept it. People say, I've accepted this. An hour, a week later, they give in. Why? Because they never cultivated their want. I don't want it to stay in a wanting state. We have to turn it into a knowing state. That's what desire is. So you have a want. Now you've got to turn it back over to your subconscious mind. Remember, I told you your conscious mind is not going to take it to fulfillment. Your conscious mind works in harmony with your subconscious mind. So if your goal is to turn your annual income into your monthly income, you say, it feels so amazing. I'm so excited. I'm so grateful. I'm so joyous that I've turned my annual income into my monthly income. And you match with that emotion. Then the rest of the day, you already have achieved this and you take actions like who the person would be who achieved that. Now, the repetition of doing this turns it into a desire. Once it's a desire, it's impossible for your goal not to be accomplished. It's impossible. You know what most people's desires are? What they don't want. They put all this thought energy on their circumstances. So guess what? There's a law in the universe called the law of polarity. There's an exact opposite. There's a high, there's a low. Well, guess what? You could use the right side of desire or the wrong side of desire. If you're not really making it happen right now, I promise you, you are not in control of your emotional state and you're getting emotionally involved with what you don't want. I want you to use your desire and have it in harmony and congruency with what you want. When you do that, you alter your vibration. Your vibration dictates what you attract, and all the conditions, circumstances, and environment in your life changes. I will tell you that right now. Don't deny the physical results, though. I'm not asking you to deny them. I'm asking you to observe them because they're telling you a story, and don't Don't keep making the same error every day. I never deny my physical results. They're telling me a story. I just don't get emotionally involved in it. When I have a result I don't like, and I know I'm doing the right things, I just haven't done it long enough. I said, I understand why I created that. In the past, I accepted the wrong idea. And I got triggered by something, but I know from this moment on, I know I'm turning the impossible into the possible. And it is manifesting in my life right now. So don't deny them, because then you're going to live with delusion. And I don't want you to do that. Now, the creation process, I will tell you this. Creation starts with trust, not evidence. Yet people want the evidence before they're going to build faith. It doesn't work like that. You have to trust. Whether you understand it or not, whether I'm talking a different language to you or not, everything works by exact law. The universe has no mistakes, but we've been given free will, so how we use our mind is going to be critical to what we create. Now, the biggest sabotage of creating what you want is coming from a place of neediness. Neediness is I don't have, and all it is lack. Focusing all your thinking from your circumstances, lack. Focusing on what you don't want, lack. That is what is going to kill your want. That is what's going to get you to focus on what you don't want. Now, here's some good questions to ask yourself. What do I really want more than anything else? And I want you to understand this is yours. This is not mine. I know what I want more than anything else. What do you really want? Then you ask yourself, what experiences would I like to have? What experiences would I like to have? I want you guys to enjoy your life. I don't want you to grind through your life. I don't want you to chase wealth. I want you to understand you are always shaping your life with your focus. What you focus on expands and grows. And if you let the outside world dictate your want, all you're going to do is keep living in a prison. Now, some of you are living in a self-imposed prison right now. If you're not free and able to do what you want, you're not using the essence of who you are for you, you're using it against you. So what experiences would you like to have? Then ask yourself, what changes would I love to make? I'm always looking at ways that I can change. I'm always looking at my weaknesses because I'm always looking at ways to get better. Every elite performer will tell you failure is the biggest illusion. They're always looking at ways that they can get better. So what changes would you like to make? And then why are your goals so important to you? If your goal is not connected with a strong why, I promise you, you're going to give in the first sign of adversity. All you have to do is look at your past and observe your past when you gave into adversity. Now, what kind of person must I become to achieve all I want? That will tell you the characteristics that are going to be the mental equivalent of what you want to create. Write out your top 5 characteristics and start planting that inside of you and making it part of your identity. Now, this is where people make an error. A paradigm shift is essential to create great wealth. Now, this is where you are right now. Right now, your present results. It's not hard for us to see where we are, but we have a goal that is 10x higher. I am sick and tired of being sick and tired. I have committed to creating a world-class life. The question is, have you? Have you committed? Or are you wishing and hoping? Now, it's so simple and so obvious. Why do so many people struggle? Why are so many people struggling? I already gave you the answer. They're always separate from what they want. They're always separate from what they want. They have this fallacy that they're not good enough. And they're not doing whatever it takes to create their goal. They are not doing whatever it takes. Is that you? Now remember, you can't create abundance chasing lack. That's what you're doing. Now, most people, instead of thinking, feeling, and acting from where they want to be, they're coming from where they are. That's all they act. All their actions. I can't do this. Why not? Well, I don't have the money. Go find the money. That's a person who is doing whatever it takes. Whenever somebody gives me, I don't have the money, well, you know what they're telling me? I don't want it badly enough. I do not want it badly enough. Because I'll tell you, I didn't have the money and I found a way. The way is always shown when it's important to you. Your mind has this amazing ability to process, and it's called the reticular activating system. it works like your personal Google. Whatever is most important, it will go find it. And I can give you examples of this. When you buy a new car, all of a sudden you see that car everywhere you go where you never noticed it. I remember when my wife was pregnant, all of a sudden I became aware of all these babies or all these pregnant women. So this is not good enough to come from here. You're not going to create from who you currently are. You're never going to create from that. But I will tell you, the only thing stopping you and getting in your way is your belief. It's your paradigms. Your paradigms are a multitude of habits stored in a section of your subconscious mind. Now, you have great paradigms. You have not so good paradigms. Every time you make an excuse, lack. Every time you're accountable, abundance. Every time you take action, even though you fail, abundance. Every time you're afraid to take action, lack. So you're never going to create what you want from a place of lack. But this is what happens. I want you to watch this. This is so powerful if you see it. Now, our job is to align with the frequency of our goal. So we have a goal, it's up here. The minute we say, I'm going to create a massive breakthrough, we go up to the goal, okay? But then we come back to where we currently are. Right away, within a millisecond. Our job is stay there. But the person is constantly going up, down, up, down. They're never going to create the results, keep going from the frequency of what they want, going down to what they don't want. They go up, they go down. We have to stay up here. That's our job. So how do you stay up there? I told you the first minute before you go to wake up in the morning, I am already achieving that and feel what it would feel like once you achieve that. That's how you stay up there. The repetition of doing it is how you persist in the state. Now, repetition is going to be essential because you cannot persist in a state if you do it twice a week. Your dominant thinking has to be all day long. And that's what I want you to understand. Like, learn from Scripture. Scripture teaches us this, that if we think, feel, and act like we've already achieved it for 3 days, it's embedded in us. Try it for 3 days. That doesn't mean in the morning. That means all day long. People doubt me on this until they do it. I have somebody on my team, Wendell. He's like, how did you know this? I said, because I study this every day. And I said, watch, do it for yourself. He did it for himself. He said, that's exactly right. Do it for 3 days. Watch how you feel. Have that excitement like you're going on a trip with your goal. Watch what's going to change. Now, repetition is the mother of learning. If you don't commit to repetition, you're not going to create world-class results. You're not going to create it. But what if I told you right now you're so unconsciously committed to the wrong repetitions? So look at what you have to eliminate. Now, paradigms are con men and con women in our life, and they're going to blind our views and limit our perspective. I want you to deny the senses and start understanding what you plant in your imagination is actual reality. And guess what your senses are telling you? What you planted in your imagination in the past, what you've accepted as real. Now, this is so clear, everything happens by law. This is a black and white deal. It does not matter how hard you work, how good of a person you are, or how many hours you put in. If the program does not change, the results will remain the same from 1 year to the next. It's not about hard work. It's about getting the hell out of the way. We're too in the way. You've got to let go of control. It can't be, it has to be my way. The moment you decide good things are coming your way with certainty, you activate the law of vibration attraction. The minute you decide that, that's what it's going to take. Now, when programs stay in control, nothing changes. I'm going to tell you that right now. Nothing is going to change. If I keep operating, my goal is up here. If I keep operating like I did over the last 12 months, I'm not going to get there. So stop operating in insanity. Look at your results. They're telling you a story. Don't get emotional, but learn from them. Learn from what's really going on in here. Remove the scarcity in your heart. You can't create from lack. You can only create from wholeness. Now, this is the biggest thing that people have a hard time really mastering. And it's called the double binding message. Now, this is your mind. You want wealth. You want a world-class life. You want to turn your annual income into your monthly income. You want a massive quantum leap. Remember, we have 80,000 thoughts a day. That power is flowing in and through us. Now, you have a money goal. You have a financial goal for the next 12 months. Now, you say, I'm affirming it. And I really want it. I really want it. But it's been 6 months. Why am I not seeing any improvement? It's because you're sending a double binding message. You may be affirming it every day, but you may just be analytically affirming it. You may be not connected to your feeling. You have to feel what wealth feels like. Feel the freedom it's offering you. Feel the amount of lives you're impacting. Feel the joy. Like if you had, like I want everybody to think of this right now. Right now, today, if you look at your income and you 10x'd it, how would you feel? I have people say amazing. I say not good enough. That's too vague. I said, I want you to get in the feeling of what it feels like to be wealthy. God, it would just change my life. I'd be able to have the experience I want. I'd be so proud of myself. I feel so accomplished. I would have grown so much. That's what it feels like. So don't just say it feels great. You got to get in the feeling or else it's not getting to the subconscious mind and all you're creating is a double binding message. Now, if you are operating from a poverty consciousness, you're going to know it because your energy is low. A poverty consciousness energy is always attached to something. When we're attached to something, it's always lacking limitation. But feel your energy and take a break. Because if you're operating from a poverty consciousness, all you're emanating out into the universe is worry, doubt, and fear. Worry, doubt, and fear is a very low vibration, and all the universe is going to give you back are experiences that remind you of worry, doubt, and fear. And guess what's going to happen? You're going to keep creating what you don't want. And some people will give up on this philosophy. They say it doesn't work. It's not that it doesn't work. It's that you're not working the ideas properly. You're not conquering yourself. But there's another way. We have to hold ourselves to a standard of excellence. Say, I know my results right now are showing me results I don't want. But I have a conscious mind that I can accept or reject any idea. And every day is day one. I'm not going to be emotionally triggered because I am aware that I created these results because of unconscious thinking of the past or because I was afraid to show myself. I was always being a watcher. I was always protecting myself. But from this moment, I'm changing the rules. And the minute somebody takes that type of decision, that type of ownership, guess what's going to happen? They're going to feel wealthy. They're going to feel prosperous. They're going to know they create abundance from inside, and everything is going to change. Everything is going to change. And their results will literally change overnight. Literally. It's not overnight, but it's going to feel like that. That's exactly what's going to happen. I have a client, Michael Minoka. In July, I share this story because I was so proud of him. In July, we had a very honest conversation. And I said, are you ready to stop screwing around? Are you ready to do a 90-day sprint with me? And he said, I want it so bad, Arash. What do I have to do? So we created exactly what he had to eliminate. And he did 4 things every day. Within 90 days, he shot up to the top of his company in the nation. He said, in the first 60 days, he said, I got a paycheck that I've never had in my life. Now, fast forward another 3 to 4 months, he's repeated it every single month. And I'm telling you, he's living the principles now. Now, I want you to stop screwing around with yourself because I want you to stop working backwards. You could do the same thing Michael did. Do you realize that? You could create a massive quantum leap within 90 days. But you got to stop this game of double binding messages. You got to stop lying to yourself. You got to go all in with yourself. That's what it's going to take. But I'm telling you, the rewards are so great. He is happier than he's ever been. Why? Because he's proud of himself. He's showing himself what he's capable of. That's what I did. That's what I want you to do. Stop playing games with yourself. Now, you must persist. That's why repetition is important in your new state until it's just as natural as your present results. I want you to think of your goal, and I want you to think of your present results. Okay, we have a goal on one side, present result. Now, I want you to have the same attitude you have towards your present results as you do with your goal achieved. That's the trick. You want to get so comfortable with the idea of your goal, just like you're comfortable about your present results. I want you to get so comfortable with the idea that your goal is achieved right now, because the universe only knows the now. Your subconscious mind only knows the now as you do breathing. You don't try to breathe, you just breathe. Your goal is already in your consciousness. Now we got to give it life. We've got to give it life by assuming that state. Now, how do we do this? We have to build a much bigger picture of yourself. You've got to see yourself already as the best in the world at what you do. You've got to see yourself free. You can't see yourself from what created the results and keep living in that picture. Build an enormous picture of yourself. Now, build a new model of your future self. Your future self is much different than who you think you are. It's much wiser. It's much stronger. It is much more connected to the emotional side. It is much more connected to the spiritual side of your personality. But we've got to understand we're either feeding our present self, our past self, or our future self. Now, I want you to be honest with yourself. What am I feeding? I'm going to show you this clearly. Everything starts in the present. We're either deciding to come from our future self or we're deciding to come from the results. Every time we're choosing to come from the results, we're coming from the past. Because the results today are created from your past self. And what you're doing is you're choosing bondage day in and day out. You cannot create freedom coming from bondage. Every time you commit to a much brighter future and you are already living like you've already achieved that today, that's where freedom is created. Now, this is what your past does. Your past self says, I'm going to 1x and 2x. I don't need that big of a jump. It's not that you need it. Show yourself who you're capable of. But whenever you're just 1xing and 2xing your life, what you're doing is not changing. All you're doing is defaulting to your past self and saying, I'm going to work harder this year. I'm going to be more focused this year. Working hard is not the answer. All you're going to do is grind the rest of your life away, and you're going to have very little happiness, very little joy, and no fulfillment. I will tell you that. Now, you want the people who are coming from their past, your past is going to tell you, you can double your results without changing. It's a lie. Stop listening to that voice. We have to change. And then your past negotiates with your present self of why you should just 1x and 2x your life. It's constantly negotiating with your present of not creating too big of a future. It'll say, it'll start rationalizing with you. You're doing better than most. So you compare. That's just the voice of the ego. Remember, anytime you doubt, that's the voice of the ego. Anytime you trust, that's the voice of the soul. Keep feeding your soul, not your ego. Anytime you're attached, voice of the ego. And when you're choosing your past self, there's no fuel. You're having a hard time being motivated and inspired. If that's you right now, it's because you're coming from your past self. And if there's no fire, there's never going to be forward movement. You're always going to just keep creating the same year in and year out, and you call it a life, but it's really the same year repeated for 60 years. Now, what I want you to do is come from your future self. So you commit to a goal that is going to cause you so much discomfort that it's going to feel impossible at first. You commit to a goal of how you want to live. So you start at the future and you tap into the present. You literally bring the future into the present. I'm turning my annual income into my monthly income, and right in the present, you already see yourself living that way comfortably. Then you start with the future as the lead dog in everything you do. If my future self would say no to this, I say no. If my future self would say yes, I say yes. Now that's going to cause a lot of discomfort in the beginning, I promise you. Every decision I make is based on my future self. Every decision. Now, I've disciplined myself to do it, but that's why I've created the life I've created. And that's why my clients who commit to doing the work have created the life they've committed. Now, you free yourself from the past. Now, think of a car driving. Either your past is driving the car or your future is driving the car. Most people have their future self in the trunk. And all they do is keep letting the past dictate every emotion they have, every type of goal they have. Does it start resonating with you? Start making different choices. Start transforming. The present is truly meaningless unless you're connected to the future. It's the future that dictates what decisions you make in the present. If you're having a hard time knowing what you want, it's because you're coming from your past self. You've succumbed the ability to dream. I want you to open up like a child. Let go of everything that's happened to this moment. Let go of everything that's happened to this moment. And when you do, you're going to open yourself up to a whole new world. I had a client. She was 81 years old. And she came to me. She said, Arash, I really want to change my life. And she goes, do you think I still have time? And I said, what do you mean? She goes, I'm 81. And I said, listen, I look at age very differently than you do. I look at just the present moment. And she ended up doing exactly what I told her to do. And she changed her life. And I asked her why she wanted to do it. And her answer was so brilliant. She said, I'm sick of living my life in fear. I don't want to leave this world living it the rest of my life in fear. Now, that was an aware woman. So any of you can do this, but it's just, do you want to do it? That's going to be your choice. Now, your future self, I want you to think about this. Think about your future self, 20 feet taller than you, standing tall in everything they do, really sprinting towards discomfort. That's your future self, because your future self is so much more aware. They know if I'm willing to do certain disciplines, that's where the results come. Success is a few disciplines compounded over time to create massive results. So stop making it hard. Stop assigning a level of difficulty before you get started. Your future self is driving your present moment. So right now, just look at yesterday. Look at the actions you took. You're going to know right away, I just did the same thing over and over again, or you know what? I had a world-class day. I really sprinted out of my comfort zone. I was really coming from the desire fulfilled. So you're going to know whether your past drove your present or your future drove your present. I want your future to always drive your present. Now, in order for you to become what you want, you must overcome the old you. And I promise you, this is a good sign. The side effect is a lot of discomfort. When you feel discomfort, do it right away. What it is, and I've really become very aware of this, discomfort is your subconscious mind telling you, hey, you're dropping your standard. This is what you want. Go do this thing. And I will tell you, the number one goal achievement habit that you have to have is doing it now. If you hesitate, you're putting lack out. You have to do it now. Even when you don't want to do it right away. If I could get you for the next 30 days to make doing it now a habit, you're going to change your life. You're going to absolutely change your life. Now, every goal we have, if you want to 10x your life, which I hope you do because you can do it, regardless of what that voice is telling you inside, that voice saying, I don't want a 10x, I just want a 3x. Why don't you 10x and then instead of 3xing, 5xing? But every goal that I have tells me that I have to raise my courage and raise my confidence. If you increase your confidence by 10x, you will create 10x results by default. If you want to look at your results, they'll tell you your confidence. I promise you this. Now, confidence is about definiteness even when you lack certainty. Now, I would be lying to you and telling you that you're never going to have doubt. I'd be lying to you. I'd be lying to you and telling you that I never have doubt. I just don't suppress the doubt, because every time I suppress the doubt, I give it more energy. So I look at the doubt and I say, listen, I've doubted before. I'm going to doubt this doubt because I know there's things happening behind the scenes. I understand my want and my desire is mine and it's meant to be fulfilled. So I'm letting it go. I want you to get great at letting it go. Don't deny the doubt. Just let it go like cars on a freeway. Now, confidence is about the choices you make. Look at the choices you've made so far. You know, over the last 2 weeks, over the last 90 days, over the last 6 months. That will tell you a big story about your confidence. Are you the person that's saying, I'm going to do this when this happens? I'm going to buy this house when this happens. Well, I'm telling you, you're operating with no confidence. Confidence has to always be aligned with what you want. Nothing defines us more than the choices we make. That will show you your confidence. Now, We have to behave our way into a new identity. Confidence is going to the unknown identity. Identity is the foundation of success. Your results, your income, your weight, whatever is showing up in your life is a reflection of your identity. But I will tell you this, it is much easier to behave our way into a new identity than thinking our way into a new identity. That's why I encourage you to get out of your comfort zone and do it now. Just today, you being on this training, you've transformed your identity. You've told your subconscious mind, like, I am valuing myself. Now, what you do after today is going to be critical. It's going to be absolutely critical. Because when you have a definite commitment, it's assigned to the universe and it's assigned to your subconscious mind, your goals are important to you. Now, when you have confidence, you've won before you start. You're never driven by the circumstances. So you're going to know that right away. Now, none of this works without having goals that are worthy of you. I call them world-class goals. Now, I want you to look at your goal. Is that what you want, or is that what you think you can achieve? Now, you may have changed it throughout this training so far. You may be thinking, I'm thinking too small. My guess is you are. My guess is every one of you is thinking too small. If you actually understood the power you have inside of you, you would never let a circumstance control you. Now, one of my favorite books is by Wallace Wattles called The Science of Getting Rich. He says the riches you receive will be in exact proportion to the definiteness of your vision. So let's stop there. Do I have a vision? Write out a vision that is worthy of you. And then record it and install it inside of you. Every day, listen to it. The fixity of your purpose. Like, am I committed to my goal? The steadiness of your faith and the depth of your gratitude. These are the two most empowering forms of attitude. That's all it takes, is being congruent with this one quote from Wattles to achieve any goal you want. Now, in order to achieve big goals, if you want to 1x, just keep grinding your way through it. Eventually, you're going to do a little bit better just by working harder. That's not the answer, though, because you're not going to be fulfilled. We have to be all in with our goals. That means every day is day one where I'm beating my personal best from yesterday. That's the only person I want you competing against. Now, the goal you wish to achieve is already in your imagination once you thought it. It's as real as anything you accept as a fact. The only difference is your assumption of what is real and what's imagined. You're letting your assumption be the circumstance. I want you to treat what you're accepting as real as your present circumstances. I want you to see it just as real as I see this pen with my eyes. That's how I want you to see it. Now, it is impossible to exceed the standards you have for yourself. So if we don't up our standards this year, we're not going to be able to achieve our goal. Our standard sets the baseline of what we attract. Your standard literally sets the direction of where you're going. And the standard you hold of yourself is your most important core value. Understand that. And if you don't think you have standards, I promise you, you do. Watch what excuses you're giving, standard. Watch what you're saying yes to, standard. It will tell you. Draw a line in the sand and hold yourself accountable that I'm going to create the very best next 12 months of my life. Watch what happens. Just focus for 12 months on you. Watch how much the rest of your life is going to change. Now, remember, when we have a goal, we have to have a strong why. When the why is big enough, the how always shows itself. What is your why? And don't just say an authentic why. I don't care what the why is. It's for you. It's for your heart. That why is going to keep allowing you to overcome adversity as it shows up. Now, in order to achieve your goal, and 10x your goal, you're going to have to require new habits. Now, I would tell you this, ask yourself this. What new habits must I install in myself and create? What new processes does my goal require? Because every goal demands a process. What standards must I grow into? And if you take care of those three things, you're going to be off to the races. But it requires letting go of 80% of your old life. Like, what part of your life no longer serves you? You know it doesn't serve you, but you're just doing it out of comfort. You're doing it out of comfort. Let go of the 80% that is robbing your energy. Focus on your top 20% activities. Focus on a few things to develop your mindset, not 1,000 things. And we have to turn our goal into a love story. When it's a love story, it's already done. It's already a fact. I want you to turn your goal into a love story. Now, if you're having to remind yourself what your goal is, you don't have a goal. Like as soon as I wake up, everything I wake up is grateful for my goal already achieved. Now, if you're not waking up like that, you're separate from the goal. Now, stop asking the how. The how is none of your business. The how has nothing to do with you. The universe knows the how. Your future self knows the how. Start asking, what are the highest income producing activities that will take me from my goal today? Listen to my language. I didn't say to my goal, from my goal. Who must I become today? Who must I show up as? Who can I leverage? Who can I gain specialized knowledge from? Because success leaves clues. When we ask the how question, now we're only using our analytical mind that's 2 to 4% of our power. You're never going to get to a big goal that way. But make your goal so big you believe it's impossible. How can you turn the impossible possible? Start playing with the idea. Start getting a calculator out. If somebody's earning 100,000, they want to earn $1 million. Okay, they say, okay, if I start charging $10,000, just divide 100,000 a month by 10, that's how many clients you have to make. And all of a sudden, the 100 a month doesn't seem like a big deal. It doesn't seem like a big deal at all. Now you're turning and making it ridiculously small. And remind yourself, 2xing my goal is just about hard work. I'm just going to keep not transforming myself. I'm going to keep grinding my way to it. And all you're doing is coming from your past self. 10xing your goal, there's only a limited number of strategies. So when you get a new idea, but it's the same strategy as the old, you say no to it. That's called standard. That's called commitment. Now, when you make the goal impossible, when you make it possible, you start working from your past self. You start working from your present knowledge and assumptions. You're never going to get to where you want to go. You have to decide, I'm going to change. And I hope you decide that every day, because transformation demands change. And then you're going to be open up to new ideas and paths to getting to your big goal. Because your subconscious mind works through your intuition. Your intuition is a compass that's going to say, this is the next step. This is the next step. Most people are operating with the same action steps from their past self. That's never going to get them to their results because they're not operating with inspired action because they haven't reprogrammed themselves. They think they have, but they're not looking at the results. Like if you don't have considerable cash flow right now, you haven't reprogrammed yourself. I'm telling you that right now, you have not. So remember, we can only attract what we're wired for. So you have to do the programming work. You have to create the right programs to reprogram yourself. I'm sorry, the right processes to reprogram yourself. Now, the secret in goal achievement lies not in working to your goal, but in accepting that you already have it. Now, your paradigm is going to fight you on this. What do you mean I already have it? I promise you this. And people are giving into their paradigm every day. And this is why people stay stuck. They think their desire is somewhere out there in the future. It's not there. I'm experiencing right now in my mind. They continue to stay in the state of wanting, which activates lack. It starts with want, but if we don't turn it into a desire, we're going the wrong way. It has to be a desire. It has to be that knowing. And that's why confidence is so important. You declare to your subconscious mind that success is outside of you, so it's always going to be outside of you. Always going to be outside of you. This assumption keeps you in the state of wanting. Instead, you must be in the wish fulfilled. I've already achieved it. You must go about your day feeling successful. What does it feel like that I wake up and I get to do what I want? If I want to work, I work. If I want to play, I play. Thinking from success, acting from success. This is a fact. And this is what people are separate from. And that's why they keep creating the results they don't want. Now, in the goal achievement, faith is critical, but most people don't understand what faith is. Faith is not believing something will happen in the future. Faith is accepting this as a fact that I'm living that way. And faith is accepting as a fact what your senses deny. So we've got to discipline our senses. It is living from the end, feeling the results already achieved while your senses tell you otherwise. We've got to see what we would see had we already achieved it today. Today, I want you to see what you want like you already achieved it. I want you to hear people congratulating you. I want you to have a celebration dinner. That's what faith is. That's what's going to bring it to you in warp speed. The manifestation process is so simple. The results will only appear when you persist long enough in your assumptions. Your assumptions must be planted and given time to grow. You want to master this slide. You are not persisting in the state, and you're constantly starting, stopping, new philosophy, new thing, new action, instead of understanding this is a process. Now, the goals, there's only 3 critical things you have to know about goals. I have to become one with it. I already achieved it. I build 4 identity-based behaviors a year that are in harmony and the mental equivalent of the goal already achieved. And I'm taking 3 to 6 goal-achieving activities every day. But I'm only taking the activities from the goal, not from what I know. I'm taking it from the person who would achieve the goal. What type of actions would they take? Those are the type of actions I take. Because if you don't, it's going to be delusion. It's going to be delusion. I promise you, but inspired action is critical. That's where the universe knows you're out of the way, and it's tapping into your intuition and telling you what to do next. It's bringing people into your life. Why do you think I'm in your life today? Why do you think? You think it happened by accident? There are no accidents. But when you're taking actions, I want you to do it with a swagger. I want you to come from your highest self. I want you to come from the best version of you, even though you may fail. You may not see the results right away. But I promise you, you keep taking inspired action, you're going to see quantum leap every 90 days. Every 90 days. But remember, imagination and how you use your mind is critical, but it's not everything. Action is critical. Action is the most important thing we do every day. Action is the fundamental key to all success. So it's not just about having knowledge and talent. Everybody has it. It's, am I using my knowledge and unleashing my talent by sprinting out of my comfort zone, taking the right action steps? Develop the ability to take action and make action a part of your identity. The game is going to change. The time to act is when the idea is burning hot. Right now, you guys have an idea burning hot in you. You got to act on that right away. And you always act when the emotion is strong. When you act when the emotion is strong, you're going to create your achievements at warp speed. Do it now. Make it a brain tattoo. My 3 words that I'm going to make is do it now. Do it now. Do it now. It's going to change your life. Now, you have to put action into a disciplined activity. I don't have to try to take action. It's a part of my identity. I take action. But I want to take action every day greater than the action I took yesterday. It may be a similar action, but I'm showing up different because the repetition of doing that action the 100th time, I'm much better at that action. You must practice standard and do everything in harmony with the standard of the person you want to be. You mix it with discipline and you're going to create world-class results. I can assure you that. Now, you will always see, because the universe likes to reward us when we're doing something different. It will give you synchronicities and signs you're going in the right way. You will always see immediate results by acting on your idea. The great part is you will implement this strategy for the rest of your life. See, when you do this, everything's going to change. Now, you got to ask yourself, Arash, how do I constantly push myself to the limits? You never do it alone. You have to do it by yourself, but you can never do it alone. Success always leaves clues. Now, you have to ask yourself, do I really want to win? Am I sick and tired of settling? I want you to ask yourself this. That answer will tell you a big story. And am I set up to win? See, I want you to understand I'm great at what I do. And my clients, the majority of my clients are very coachable. I'm very fortunate with the clients I attract. And we have thousands of success stories because of it. But if you want to be set up to win big and win big going forward, you have to bet on yourself and come dive deep with me and get mentored by me and my team to set you up for success. Now, if you don't want to do it, fine. You don't want to pay the price. That's your choice. That's your choice. But I want to share with you a couple success stories. Daniel Kelly said, the biggest gain I've got working with Arash, and he's been working with me now for a few years, is I have way more confidence in myself and my ability to achieve my goals. Daniel's changed so remarkably. Joining Voss was one of the best decisions I have made. I feel valued and know they care about my success. I have the accountability of a great mentor, and that has impacted my progress. I've gone over and above what I expected to achieve. The key to getting tremendous results in any area of your life is having a great mentor, and I truly believe Voss is the best mentor you could have. That's Daniel. Stephanie has been working with me now for, I think, a year and a half. Why do they keep working with me? Because their results keep getting better and better. They never don't want to work with me. But that's how I was with my mentor. I kept working with him for 15 years. Oh, an aware person understands mentorship. It's the greatest cheat code in the world. But she said, one of my goals was to be published in Lux magazine. And in 7 months of working with Arash, I've been able to accomplish my goal. Through applying Arash's processes and staying focused on my vision, I achieved 7-figure deals, earned prestigious placement at the largest mall in Scottsdale, and I'm on my way to collaborating with industry giants. I have learned how to better leverage myself and my business. I have achieved greater control over my thoughts and my attitude, and I've been able to live a better life because of it. Last year, she contacted me, and she said, I just got a 7-figure deal. I remember that was her first 7-figure deal. She was so excited. I was just as excited. But winning is a habit. Understand that losing is a habit. Winning happens automatically, so does losing. And that's why mentorship is so important. And I'll give you a couple more just so you see all the different varieties of people we work with. Dr. Jenna Blasi says, I've had tremendous growth since working with Voss within 3 months. 3 months. I hit a significant goal and experienced a quantum leap. Arash has a specific way of seeing your blind spots and showing exactly what you need to do to get to the next level. Since I have started, I've added 5 team members to my business. The return on my investment is infinite. It is in my capability to achieve bigger goals each time that I choose to implement what Arash teaches. Now, this woman is a powerhouse now. She's turned her annual income into her monthly income. Her company's growing, and it's absolutely exploded. Now, you've got to ask yourself, what is common? And I'll give you one last one. Mike Eden. He said, I've followed Bob Proctor and his content for almost 10 years. This is where I became familiar with Arash. Up until 2024, I made zero progress in my quest to achieve my goals. After joining a 5-day event, Pivot Forward with Arash, I booked a call with Monica, and I signed up for his Quantum Leap coaching that same day. I made the irrevocable decision that the time for a Quantum Leap is now. I've seen more in 3 months than I did in 10 years. What Voss Coaching Code teaches works. 3 months into the program, I've already attracted a promotional opportunity in my current career, an additional opportunity that I started in June. Within that business, I'm one of the 30 participants who was selected from a pool of over 500 to kickstart a program that has high potential in boosting my online business. So you look at all this. You look at all these stories. There's a reason. There's a reason I won when I was losing. So you got to ask yourself, do I want the breakthrough? You're already on your way to a breakthrough by being on this call. But remember, motivation gets you started, commitment and discipline take you to the finish line. So do you want to keep creating the same results you've always created? Or are you ready to take your life to the next level? Because understand, real transformation requires exact processes. I'm very familiar that most of you have no idea what the processes are necessary for your goal. I'm very familiar with that. You're going to get the exact processes. You're going to get the accountability and the direction of exactly what to do and how to do it. And you're going to get the best mentorship in the world. Why I say that? Because I was mentored by the best in the world. And he was mentored by the best in the world. You're not just getting mentored by me. So you've got to ask yourself, you know, all the best performers in the world have mentors. It's what separates those who achieve massive results from those who stay stuck year after year. So just look, Are you ready to be free? Are you ready to wake up being able to live your life the way you want, being completely emotionally free? Because remember, emotional freedom is what creates financial freedom. But imagine this. Imagine we work together with my mentorship and you turn every challenge, instead of hiding, instead of reacting, you turn it into a new identity and turn it into stepping stones. You unlock that potential that you know is dying to come out here. You wouldn't even be on this call if you knew you didn't deserve more. But I'm going to tailor it with proven strategies. And then you're going to have a support system designed to keep you accountable so you don't start, stop, start, stop. I used to be a great starter and stopping because I didn't have accountability. That's what you're going to have. Mentorship is what makes the difference. Harness and leverage me, leverage my team. You're going to be working with me very closely. I get to know every one of my clients so closely. No one is a number, and you can ask all my past clients. I know everything about each client. Harness the expertise of someone who's already walked the path. Now, I will tell you, we have a lot of different options for you, but our Quantum Leap coaching program is focused on creating real, amazing transformation and showing you exactly what to do and how to do it. If my team doesn't think that's the right program, that you need a different program, we will work with you on it. But what you want to understand is Quantum Leap coaching is built on 4 key pillars that drive transformation. It's going to be built on creating a kick-ass vision, an amazing philosophy, and standards you never could have imagined. You're going to transform your identity, because I'm going to tell you right now, your goal is going to demand a completely different identity than what you currently have. You're going to understand goal achievement is an art. It's a science. Goal setting is not what I focus on. Goal setting is an intellectual exercise. Goal achievement happens by exact law. And I'm going to teach you how to work in harmony with the law. And then you're going to build discipline and action as a core foundation of something you do, like brushing your teeth. You're not going to resist it. You're going to sprint towards it. But you've got to ask yourself, do you want to do this continuously on your own? You could read 1,000 books and not get results. I did it. Trust me. But would you like me to guide you step by step on your journey to create a life of freedom and achieve your goals faster? It's time to bet on yourself. I said it earlier. The biggest mistake humans make is they think they have all this time in the world. We do not. And I promise you, life changes so quickly. You want to take advantage and seize the opportunity that's in front of you. I'm going to show you the way, but you have to take the first step. I can't do it for you. I told you we attract great clients. We really care about our clients, and I am just as committed to your results as you are. But gain the benefits of our Quantum Leap coaching program. It's 12 high-impact modules, monthly Q&A strategy sessions with me, personalized coaching and accountability, and you have lifetime access. And you're going to have, from week to week, workbook and daily processes of what to do. I don't give you all the processes at once because it's going to overwhelm you. We start building them in one at a time, one at a time. But I will tell you this right now. You could be the next Daniel. You can be the next Stephanie. You can be the next Jenna. You could be the next Michael. You could be the next Jake. You could be the next Kathy. It's up to you. It's up to you. But you have a goal to create the life you truly desire. That is your God-given birthright. But you've got to start changing. You've got to start understanding and start leveraging people who've already been there. And you know that having right mentors is absolutely essential for you to get there. Do not hesitate. If you hesitate, all you're doing is feeding your past self. Do not hesitate. And I'm going to give you bonuses for taking the first step. I'm going to give you a one-on-one strategy session that has a $1,000 value. I'm going to give you access to our freedom framework that has a $500 value. But your job is to play life actively. I want you to be a player in your life. I do not want you to be a watcher, because you're not going to create results being passive. I want you to be surrendered. I want you to understand you're going to have exactly what you want. But you've got to take the next step to take the quantum leap towards the life you truly desire. It's right in front of you. It is right there for you. Now, one call changed my life. I was struggling so badly almost 18 years ago now. And I got on a call with my mentor and he says, well, what do you want? I said, I'm not sure what I want. I said, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I said, the only thing I want is freedom. So he said, you do know what I want, what you want. And he said, you don't need to know how to get it. You just need to follow exactly what I tell you to do. And that's what I tell clients. You don't need to know how to get it. If you already knew how to get it, you'd already be doing it. One call changed my life, and I want to offer you the same chance. One call will change your life. What if this call does what it did for my life and for thousands and thousands? I've been blessed to be able to mentor hundreds of thousands of people in over 100 countries. What if it works? What if this next 12 months is going to be the catapult that's not just going to be 12 months like it's been for me almost 18 years? That's your opportunity right in front of you. I don't like this excuse. I don't have the time. Everyone has the same amount of time in a day. We have 24 hours. It's how we value ourselves and how we use the time. By getting mentored by me, you're going to leverage the time, and we're going to start using time as a tool. But what if this doesn't work for you? The only way it's not going to work is if you're not coachable. Now, a lot of people are coachable to their comfort zone. You've got to surrender for 6 months with me. Surrender for 12 months with me, depending on what program is right for you. And you're going to see your life change. You're going to see it change. But breakthroughs don't happen by waiting. You got to do it now, do it now, do it now. You have to make that a mantra. Make that your life philosophy. I leverage that from W. Clement Stone. When I first started getting mentored, my mentor shared it with me, and he said, I use this from W. Clement Stone. W. Clement Stone was the most successful insurance salesman of all time at that time. And in today's world, he took himself from being completely in poverty to being a billionaire, if you were to translate it into today's time. But understand this, if you've been waiting for the right moment to transform your life, that moment is now. Like Napoleon Hill says, there's never a perfect moment. You have to act when the opportunity is there. Too many people are missing out on opportunities because of fear. Take the call, take action today, make the next 12 months the best 12 months of your life that's going to catapult the rest of your life. And I will show you how to create breakthrough after breakthrough. Think of quantum leaps as 90 days at a time. That's my standard for myself. That's my standard for my clients. I want to thank you for being with me. I'm going to turn this over to my great friend and our executive director of our coaching division, Monica DeMarin. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got a lot of value, and thank you so much.
Thanks, Arash. What an incredible event. That was so amazing. I want to point out a couple of things that Arash said today that is so important for you to anchor in. He said right at the beginning, we teach principles, not techniques. And I'm sure that now you can see that. We teach deep life principles. And he said, if you follow through with these principles consistently, you will break through. And today, I want to applaud all of you for taking the time to be here with us. This is one action step that you took for yourself personally today. You led yourself today. You desire a breakthrough, and you carved out the time to transform and to live a superior, better life than what you're experiencing right now. And that's what quantum leaps are. Quantum leaps is a choice that you make. It's a decision. The people who became successful and created quantum leaps decided that they would be successful, decided that they would create a quantum leap and be in the right proximity with the right people. This is about today building another level of mental toughness. You being here, you built another layer. You are breaking limitations right now by being here with us. And you're breaking those limitations because you showed up. You showed up, you're listening, you're taking notes. None of you are here by accident. You're all here because you know you can create more. And today you saw what was possible. I have numerous notes here myself. I'm constantly inundated and a great student. I'm very coachable, and my life has changed by just being mentored and being close to Arash. And I'm so grateful for everything that he's taught me, and I'm still learning. But Arash is giving you so many tools, so many ideas here that you can take right from today and start executing certain action steps to make your own game plan today, right away. You're going to be reshaping your life, putting effort and time into yourself. There's no better feeling, there's no better price than putting time into yourself. Now what you want to do is to continue to take action. So you're not just gathering today's information, the transformation happens through taking action. So he went over our Quantum Leap coaching program. And I have to tell all of you guys this program is so special. All of our programs are so special in different ways because I've seen our clients and so many of them completely transform within 6 months. So I want all of you to stop for 1 minute here or a couple seconds and just close your eyes and literally envision yourself and your life 6 months from now in a completely different situation than you are right now. Just take a moment. 6 months from now, you have completely transformed. Transport yourself there right now. Now, whatever you're envisioning, whatever images are coming across the screen in your mind, the mere fact that you can imagine having this new lifestyle, these new results, means you have the talent, you have the ability inside of you to create it. I have absolutely certainty that anyone that goes through any of our programs and follow it exactly how it's designed, you will experience 2 quantum leaps within 6 months. That's how we design it. And each of our programs, each week has been so precisely designed. You'll be given everything you need for lasting transformation. So we're going to unleash the best version inside of you. And imagine having the right skill set, the right belief set, the right processes in place for you. We did that work. It's going to eliminate a lot of time and mistakes trying to figure this out on your own. That's what I used to do. I knew my way wasn't working. So I surrendered to training. I surrendered to being coached by Arash. I said, my way's not working. I need a better way. And Arash told a story about the client that was in her 80s. It's never too late to do this work. It's never too late. In fact, one of the comments I get from people all the time that I speak to, they wish they would have started earlier. So now is your time. Don't be wishing and hoping. All we have is right now. So you want to seize that moment. Our mentorship programs, coaching programs is a transformative process. It allows you to tap into that version of yourself that is powerful beyond measure. So I want you to take that next step, action step. You being here today is your calling. Think about that. That's your calling to your future self. It's your responsibility to take your action. So I want to encourage you to take your next step. What do you know that you need to do right now, but you're procrastinating or hesitating on? Is it something that you're stopping yourself that you've been uncomfortable to do? Or maybe you heard something today that connected to you that you want to jump into it. I think the best action step that you can take today is to book a call with myself or one of our coaches, because we're going to help you point out your blind spots. We're going to help you remove any sort of negative emotions that are happening around your goal, limiting beliefs, and we're going to turn it into your biggest strength. So I have complete certainty that you get on a call with us, that call will be transformative. I know that. You'll be giving tailored direction on what you need to do personally to create a quantum leap. We're going to unfold on how to develop and live an extraordinary life for you. But you have to lead yourself, just like you led yourself today on our training. You have to lead yourself with boldness and brilliance. Let us show you how to set you up for the rest of your life on long-term success and happiness. We will give you that roadmap for your personal transformation. Before I hand it over to Mikey, I want to leave you with one quote that I love from Arash. He says, "Proximity with mentors speeds up the process. It turns gathering information into transformation." So remember this, transformation begins with a single decision, the decision to move closer to what you desire the most. And proximity accelerates your growth. helping you turn all of this insight, all of your ahas into action, and action into massive results. So we are deeply committed here to creating a space that doesn't just inspire you, they ignite you. And you want to feel that juice and fire every single day. You become alive. Together, we're going to unfold for you your path to transform into your quantum leap. So now it's time to take your next step. The moment you step into your power, you create that extraordinary life that you deserve. I want to thank everyone for joining you, and I'm going to hand it right back over to Mikey.
Thank you so much, Monica. And please help me or join me in giving a big virtual round of applause to both Arash and Monica. That was incredible. I hope you loved being here with us today for how to create your massive breakthrough workshop as much as we enjoyed having you and spending this time with you. Go ahead and put your biggest takeaway in the chat. And we're not quite done. We have a quick video we're going to play for you. So stick around for just a minute. We're going to play this video and then keep an eye on your inbox. We'll send the replay your way. While this video is playing, what I want you to do is click the link in the chat and schedule your call. All right, here's that video.
I want you to take a good look at your life. Are you wanting more? Take a look at your results. Are you living the way you want to live? How are your relationships? Look at your confidence. Are you living a life on your terms, doing what you want, when you want, with whomever you want, as often as you want? Well, this answer is very important to understand, but I'm going to tell you right now that you could live that way. 17 years ago, I was at a point in my life where I was stuck. I wanted so much more for my life, and nothing was changing. I was reading the books, I was going to the seminars, I was going online to get as much research on the philosophy of personal growth and success, but nothing changed. Then one day, one idea changed my life. I made a committed decision that I was going to find the right mentor, and I was going to do exactly what they told me to do. Now, I didn't know where the mentor was going to come from, but I was committed to changing my life. And I'm going to tell you right now, most people want change, but they don't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. Change happens by exact design. Now, why mentorship is so valuable is because mentorship is the greatest cheat code on how to live the way we want to live by people who've already done it that show you exactly what they did to get there. A great mentor is somebody who installs their standard in you, their belief in you. And their job is to bring out the potential in their mentees, what the mentees don't know that they have inside of them. And I'm going to tell you right now, you have absolute infiniteness. You have greatness inside of you. I can't give you greatness, you already have it, but I can show you how to release it. Now, the interesting thing about greatness, you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. When I was starting out 17 years ago, I was $150,000 in debt, had a foreclosure sticker on my garage, I was overweight, and I was so sick and tired of being sick and tired. This idea of mentorship changed the game for me. I found the best mentor, and I did exactly what he told me to do. And within months, my results started changing. Within years, it was dramatic. Within 1 year, I went from being in debt to being emotionally free. I created more freedom financially than I've ever created. I released 42 pounds of weight, and my life took off. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you're sitting there thinking, I want more, this is for you. And I'm going to tell you why I am the perfect mentor for you. I'm not just going to tell you and teach you the philosophy in a roundabout way. I'm going to give you exact specific directions of what to do and how to do it. When I work with my clients, the first thing I do is I find out where they are to where they want to go, and I create the exact protocols, processes, and give them specific directions on what to do and how to do it. There is more for you. Go after what you want. Live the life you were destined to live. I promise you, it will change the game. And a great mentor is going to cut off the pain and the time it takes to create world-class results. I'm talking about massive quantum leaps. And quantum leaps are your birthright. And that's what you're going to create, one after the next. Come join me, and I will work closely with you. And you're going to be glad you did. Thank you so much.
They say, when you're really ready to get the download, the right teacher comes. And he has been an amazing transformational teacher for me in terms of my mindset. And it just makes me feel so amazing that I have an amazing coach, Arash, that I can reach out to him or just look into his YouTube and be inspired and completely shift my vibration. And I told him, I said, please never stop, because so many people, he has no idea how many lives he changes.
Always been exposed to coaches, mentors, information. A lot of this material that we talk about was presented to me at a young age, but I didn't know how to receive it. Didn't really mean anything to me. Those mentors and coaches, although they were trying to help me, they didn't resonate with me. And then I discovered Arash, Monica, and this information, and it all changed. It was exactly what I was looking for. Just be open to receiving mentors and good people in your life that you trust and have your best interest in mind.
It's really changed my life working with him and Voss Coaching Co. If someone is on the fence and they're not sure whether or not they want to do this, 100% you have to do this. Trust the process, trust yourself, know that you have everything in you, but Voss Coaching Co. is going to help it come out. It's going to help you up-level your self-image, your belief in yourself, the level of service that you are going to be able to give to your clients. It's going to change everything in your life. No matter what business you are in, it's going to make a difference. It's 100% yes. No matter what it is that you want to accomplish in your life, you will be able to accomplish it working with Voss Coaching Co. and Arash.
You work with Arash, he really has conviction and really knows what he's doing. When you work with him, you just feel his confidence, and that kind of confidence gets imbued into you. That allows you to go out and then kind of populate it into the people in your life. It's actually been beneficial to me because I've been able to have a much more close relationship with Arash. He really cares about the people he works with. He really wants them to succeed. And so he's not looking to get, he's looking to give. A difference between him and a lot of other people in this space, I would say.
My biggest win working with Voss Coaching Co. and Arash has just been the accountability and the connection. Like literally, I know Arash cares. I've worked with other coaches before, and I feel like the dots are really connecting this time. Something when I sit with Arash and I'm on these calls with these other like-minded people, I'm doing the work. I'm repeating my affirmations. I'm doing all the things that Arash is suggesting, and it's been amazing. I really wanted to leverage my time, and since working with Voss Coaching Co., I've hired another interior designer. I'm getting much better at leadership. My team is flowing pretty well, and I've created really big goals for myself. One of my goals was to be published in Lux Magazine. I found out last week that I am going to be published in Lux Magazine, and this was literally from September when I was here at my first Voss Coaching Co. event to today. 7 months I was able to achieve my goal, one of them, and it's just so exciting. I would say if you want to live a life of impact and create big things and you want to be happy and fulfilled, you should definitely, no question, hire Voss Coaching. It has changed my life, and I know it will change yours too.
Working with Voss Coaching Co. and Arash, the experience has been great. It's been good to have a mentor whose conditioning and whose perspective I can really trust and go to with problems that I'm having, knowing I'm getting a very, very good solution for them. And working with Arash, he's just a good mentor that you can trust, who's not going to bullshit you, who's going to give you the real answer, even when it's the thing that you don't want to hear.
So my name is Daniel Kelly, and I'm originally from the UK. A little bit about my background. So after university, I went into investment banking, and I worked for places like Goldman Sachs and Barclays, and I really didn't like it. And I wanted more of a life of freedom and living on my own terms. So I started my own coaching business, and I've been doing it for the last 6 or 7 years. And I specialize in mostly health and fitness and mindset as well. I would say that I've been studying personal development for more than 10 years. But in hindsight, when I got to know Arash, I realized I hadn't been studying it. And so I've only been studying it seriously for the past 2 years and really understanding these teachings that Arash shares. The biggest gain that I've gotten, I think, is honestly having more energy because I don't beat myself up, I don't shame myself, and I have way more confidence in myself and my ability to achieve my goals. I think that joining Voss was one of the best decisions I made. Last year when I joined, I've been with Voss for over 6 months now, 7 months. And one of the reasons why I love working with Voss so much is because I really feel valued and they care about my success. I've been in many different coaching programs in the past, and I felt like I was a bit of a number sometimes. And with Voss, it's not just Arash who's invested in my success, but other people like Mikey, Monica, and whatever they can do, they will help you succeed. And I think that having the accountability of a great coach and mentor, but not only the best, in my opinion, Arash is one of the best there is, has been tremendous in both in my progress towards my goals, but for me, mainly it's becoming better as a coach and better at selling and selling my ideas to people. So in that regard, I've gone over and above what I expected to achieve. You think that you can know things and you've heard things before, but the fact is if you're not applying them in your life and you're seeing the results, you don't really understand them. And the key to getting tremendous results in any area of your life is having a great mentor. And I truly believe that Voss is the best mentor that you can have. So don't sit on the fence and don't hold back, because if you invest in Voss, you won't be disappointed. You'll love the results that you get. So what I love about Arash is that he lives and breathes everything that he teaches. He's the product of the product, and he really embodies and really cares about his students' success. So I think that's one of the reasons why people are so loyal and want to continue working with Voss, because Arash is so invested in everyone's success and he lives and breathes what he preaches.
I happened to be the first day seated at the front of the room, and Arash called on me to ask me what was it that I really wanted. And I had this dialogue that I was going to spill out. But in that moment, for him just asking that question, he broke something in me that allowed me to strip of who I thought I was and become vulnerable in that moment and just be so authentic in myself that I really had not been before. So he made me see really who I was and be truthful with myself.
Keep stretching yourself. So if you achieve one goal, that's not the end of it. Then there's another one coming. There's always more to come. I'm more confident now in myself and in my capabilities from all that Arash has been teaching me over the years. I know I'm going to more places after this.
My biggest gain working with Voss coaching is really my self-confidence and my self-image. It was really important for me to understand what is a self-image, because I had all the success in the world, but I didn't know that it was not a self-image. So I really built my self-image and feel now so strong, so powerful in what I do. I'm now a coach and I absolutely love what I do.